Okay, so let's take a look at how you can use CouchBase and make sure to add sample data to CouchBase buckets, right? So first thing, go to CouchBase, right? And here you will have to download the database, right? There are multiple options. You have to choose the server, right? There is community edition that you can download, right? So if you go and check the download section, so it should be available here at the bottom. So download section where you have to check for community edition, right? So let's see, this is the enterprise version. You will take a look at the download for community, right? So let's try and find that one. Now when you click on the server, here you have option for enterprise and community. So for community, simply select the current version and OS, then click on download, right? And make sure to run the installer in admin mode, right? Next thing would be to simply run the server. So it should open the localhost 8091 address where you have option to simply log in. So first time when you set up the Couchbase server, it will ask you for username and password. You have option to set that up. In my case, I already set it up, right? So I will be using that, right? Now the thing is, I managed to get into Couchbase dashboard, right? Here you see on the left hand side we have various options, says dashboard, then servers, right? This is our server, then buckets, currently we don't have any, then XTCR for cluster, then security, settings, logs, then documents, query, indexes, search, and views, right? Now we don't have any form of data, so we go to dashboard. Now here it says you have no data buckets. Go to buckets, add one, can go for sample buckets. So we go to bucket section, click on sample bucket. Here you see we have option to choose from 3 samples. So game sim, travel, beer sample. So 3 of these sample buckets. So what I will do, I will download all 3 of them. Click on load sample data. So it will simply add to task. Then once everything is finished, it will give us access to these 3 buckets, right? Then we will be able to extract sample buckets out of each one of them separately, and we can then run the query to access the data, right? So let everything finish. You can check the progress at the top and it will show right here, right? So let it finish all the actions there, so you can. Now if you check that in dashboard, all of these buckets would be showing some output here, right? So for cluster they will be showing movements of the buckets, right? So it will show you related to be a sample. You can change that to another bucket, right? And travel sample. So all of them are now installed and set up. So if you go to buckets, if you choose to check one of the bucket, you can click on it. You can see how much memory they have consumed and how much RAM taken, right? And you can also see the option to click on drop to remove them, compact them, or even edit some of their properties, right? So 2 things to explore here is we will be exploring beer sample documents. So we will click on documents. So the documents here are going to be similar to what we call your rows in tabular databases, right? So let's say we have like few entries written, right? And let's say this is for be a sample, so if I want to switch to another bucket I can do so, right? Then you can specifically also search for a document based on its ID, right? So if I check this ID and run it here, click retrieve, it should give me the content from the same, right? And click on edit and I can see all the JSON values for that data, right? You can view the metadata where you can see ID, revision, expiration, flags, type, etc. And if you click on data, it will show you the key value pairs showing the JSON data associated with that. Here you can edit their entries and then you can click on save. So basically this dashboard literally allows you to enter the data into these documents, right? So let's say if I remove this again and retrieve docs, it will result in all the documents, right? You can also delete any of the document, or you can copy of this documents and then you can edit few properties and make them part of document again, right? So these are some of the operations that you can do. There is also option for this unchecked save option, so in case if any document is not saved, it will prompt you to save from here, right? So these four icons basically mean that, right? Then there is field editing option. So the field you want to edit, you can do so right from here instead of manually going through here, right? You can see all the fields that you are looking for. You can right scroll and all the fields are accessible there, right? So this is not just for one of the sample bucket, but with all sample bucket you can do so. You can disable the field editing because accidentally we may push space button or maybe dot or any other key, and that would change the data inside, right? And also limit the data to higher number of documents and retrieve it, right? So we have like 20 results. So if the results are higher in number, you will simply click to next batch and so on, right? So get the idea how to navigate between the documents through this particular section. Right now if we take a look at the top button where you see workbench, right, and there is also one called import. So let's say if I want to import some data and get it here, can use it as CSV data or JSON less lines or TSV data. Simply open that file here, it will be visible in content. You can parse the table, pass the JSON data within the same, right, and then finally import. Currently we don't have anything to import, so I'm not showing you, so I'll be showing you later when I want to specifically import some data in here, right? So let's assume that you want to import through command line, then they are also giving you this command option called cb import, right? So this tool cb import is necessary to be installed, right? So if you have like say Linux or any other tool, it should be easy to install. In case of Windows, you will have to find it on their website, right? And basically it is going to be allowing you to import documents in CSV, TSV or JSON formats, right? So you get the data in tabular form like this, right? So another thing we can do here is go back to workbench, and let's see the option that I wish to explore here is for, let's say, for travel sample. And like say if I I have to edit this data here and say within metadata I want to change some of the flags, right? So if I change flag to 0 to 1 and say I want to change the way document appears here, that can be done from this workbench as well, something we missed explaining previously. Right now, if you want to run the queries, what you can do, simply click on query, right? And here, if you want to run a particular query on this travel sample document, then you can run it from query editor. Result will be visible right here. So let's say if you choose this data, right, and if you want to check the index or you want to check some of the particular set of properties like city, code, country, etc., can specifically call for those from your documents, right? So we will take a look at that part separately.